So you think you're moving to Lexington, South Carolina. Well, in this video, and don't ask me why, but these are actually my favorite kind of videos where we go inside the computer and I can show you through Google Maps all about Lexington, South Carolina. It's literally like walking around on foot or through car, showing you the best traffic areas, showing you what's so popular about it, showing you the parks. And I can even show you pictures through Google Maps in doing this. Again, one of my absolute favorites in what I do. And if you stick around to the end, if you noticed, I am actually in Harbison Forest doing this video. So the Harbison Forest is not in Lexington, but if you stick around to the end, I'll show you this. There's well between 50 and 100 miles of trails out here. I go mountain biking out here. I go running out here. I go hiking out here. I just wanted to do this video in somewhere besides just my house, but just so you can see a little bit of where I am. You're talking, I'm in one of the shelters here. Absolutely beautiful out here. So if you stick around to the end, I'll show you some of that on Harbison Trails, as well as some information about me, as I always do. So it's a little more personal with what you're doing. If this is your first time to the channel, and you want to know everything about living in Columbia, South Carolina, and the surrounding areas such as Lexington, which we'll be going over today, then subscribe below, click the notification bell, and you'll be the first to get to learn more about the Columbia area market and the suburbs around. My name is Chad, and I've lived here pretty much my entire life. So I know the area better than most. All sorts of, we'll say I'm right around 50. So I know the area better than most. I can tell you all the hot spots, all of everything. I grew up going to Brooklyn Casey High School, University of South Carolina here. There was only 1 year out of my entire life I did not live here, and I lived in Easley, South Carolina in that. I get texts, emails, calls from people like you every single day. And no matter what you're moving here in 7 days, 70 days, or even within the next year, the big thing I want everybody to get out of this, these videos are more informative. They're great that you can watch them, etc. You can learn more about me. But my real estate business is a relationship business. The biggest thing I want you to do is click on the barcode banner or in the information below. It's going to ask you a couple questions, whether you're a buyer, whether you're a seller. But the most important thing it's going to do is it's going to take you to my calendar so you can set up a 30 to 45 minute Zoom call with me. Let's get into the video. This is all of Lexington. So there used to be back in 1992, there were only like 4,000 people in Lexington, South Carolina, and the only zip code was 29072. Now Lexington has expanded, obviously big time. There are just over 25,000 people in the population of Lexington, South Carolina. It is one of the biggest, so it is the biggest and fastest growing suburb of Columbia, South Carolina. Big things, it's got a lake, it's got a number of things that make it just such a cool place to live. But you can see here, so this is I-20 coming down, and that you can go to the beach, you can go to Florence, you can go to all of that. And you can see 29072 is, I'm just doing this roughly, but you see the lake over here, all the rough stuff here goes here. This is all of 29072. So it's everything this side of I-20, and this is the most popular. You've got downtown Lexington right in here. You're taking 378, which we'll get into with traffic. All through here, highway number 1, you've got 378 going into Saluda from downtown, and it spreads pretty much everywhere. Then here now, you see all of this was 29072, if you remember correctly, coming from about here all the way to I-20 and going back this way. The way we changed it, you can see now on this side is all the new area. Covers Red Bank, White Knoll, Edmond, Macedonia. You've got a lot that is involved in 29073. More popular areas are the 29072. You've got Lexington High School more over there. You have River Springs High School also. Not River Springs. Oh, shoot. It's going right up one of the most scenic areas around, and it's a newer high school. When I say newer, the last 5-10 years, but it is a beautiful. So it's River Bluff High School. It is beautiful. It's right along Corley Mill Road, which is one of the most scenic drives in all of Lexington. It's really beautiful. They have two different wedding venues there, or venues that you can have things like weddings over there as well. It's really, really pretty when it comes to that. Now, Lexington, South Carolina if you pull out, it's the same as Columbia. What is great about Lexington, South Carolina? Well, if you go, you can see the little area here that's 29073, but it goes this way too for all of Lexington. It's about 2.5 hours to Myrtle Beach. It's not that much further to Myrtle Beach here. Not too far even to Wilmington and the Outer Banks that you're going to up in North Carolina if you ever wanted to. Historic Charleston, which they've got just all cut. Downtown Charleston's just beautiful too. It's that old style feel. They have a number of plantations, etc. And then you can go all the way down to Hilton Head Island. These are the four most popular places when it comes to beaches. Yet at the same time, you are not far at all from the mountains either. You can even go up here toward Greenville, which is Reed River Park in Greenville is just great. You got the Nantahala National Forest, the Chattahoochee-Oconee National Forest, all the way up into Knoxville and Pigeon Forge, and Nashville's not far off, where you can even go into North Carolina up to Asheville, Hickory. You've got Asheville up here, and they're not very far drives. And of course, even Charlotte, which is the biggest, closest city to Columbia, that's a big city like with pro driving, things like that, with pro leagues, is only an hour and a half away. You've got Carowinds, that is an amusement park up there. I say all that to say you're not far from anywhere when you go to Lexington. Now let's bring it in. You've got downtown Lexington here, and if you go even into downtown Lexington, you've got like these Virginia Hilton parks that you can go to in downtown. You've got your main street that goes right here. This is a great place to eat. But you've got the Ice House Amphitheater that's here. You've got if you go back to my Lexington video, I literally walk down Main Street. It's really nice when you go through that. Then you also have where they go through like May through I think September, October. You've got where they have the market every Saturday morning. It's right here. They're at the Ice House Amphitheater as well. Big draw to Lexington is right here when you break out. Lake Murray. From Bomb Island, where I think I talked before on the Lexington video. Also, you've got the Purple Martins. I used to have this is your dam here. It's 1.75 miles that you can walk across it. It's got its own separate thing. Locks of Love that a lot of people put their locks on there. It comes from the Saluda River. Everything coming from the upstate to pour into Lake Murray, which is a man-made lake. But you don't have to worry about gators there because the Saluda River is very cold. Gators do not like the cold. Snakes do not like it. So a lot of people love it. One, because it's so huge, all the way from fishing and anything like that, but also for just getting out and kneeboarding, wakeboarding, just to go out camping. You see a lot of these lake islands right in here. This is Goat Island, Little Goat Island. There's a number of islands that come around here too that you can go and have almost the whole island to yourself if you like camping. There's just a lot to do on the lake. Houses on the lake on the Lexington side, so you're talking all the way through here as it goes in and out of coves, all the way around, all the way up to past 378. You get into Saluda over here. All of these houses, they average close to around 900,000 as far as homes go on the lake. And there's a lot less expensive there too if you have or say in a neighborhood that has lake access. So you have a boat. Some of them even have their own slips. Some of them have where you can store your boats, etc. Matter of fact, one of them on the Lexington blog that I did as it's a neighborhood, a very tight knit neighborhood. It's right off of Pilgrim Church Road. They have where you can store your own boats and have lake access. So I made sure to put one of those houses in my blog so you can see what that's like. And the house itself, I think, was around 350, 400, but not near as much, but it has lake access. Gibson Pond, you can see some pictures here. There you go. And you can see pictures of Gibson Park where you can walk through. It's really, really pretty. A lot of these parks are in downtown Lexington. And it's just so much to do with the park. You've got Lexington Museum, you've got a bunch of this stuff, and it's just that small town feel, but it's still got a little over 25,000 people, where a lot of the other smaller towns here in Columbia, say West Columbia, that's got like 18,000. Casey has 15,000. Blythewood, that I did a vlog on, also 2,000 people, yet it's got 3 major golf courses out there. Lexington is by far the biggest suburb of Columbia. Now, traffic. I talk a lot about traffic because in the 29073 zip code that we talked about, there's where they're building a lot of new stuff. There is not near as much traffic because it has not developed as much out there, but there's some beautiful new builds out there, as well as a lot of that area has more property out there too. So you may find houses that have a good bit of acreage on it. They have 1, 2 acres. A lot of people are looking for stuff like that. They're older houses, but a lot of people going in, buying these and redoing them. The big traffic areas are more in 29702, and I'm going to show you real quick. So Lexington, main areas of traffic in Lexington here are, so downtown Lexington's right here. You've got the courthouse that is right here on Main Street. You've got South Lake. You've got the schools. Lexington Elementary School is right in here somewhere. You've got 378, so many restaurants. There are all up 378 here going toward Lexington. You can see there's from Chick-fil-A's, there's Targets, there's Kohl's, there's Lowe's, there's Home Depot, there is it just stays packed. 378, even in the middle of the day, they do have a golf course, Golden Hills Golf Club, that is over here as well. There's Golden Hills right there, right down 378 too. Just a little story. This is where hole number 1 is. And I shanked one so bad in the middle of our 5 o'clock traffic one year that the ball went from the tee right here and it went straight across that huge traffic and did not hit one car. I could not believe it. One of the worst shanks I've ever done. But you can see as we go through, you can say Office Depot here, TJ Maxx, Publix, Walmart, all of that is right here on 378. And the traffic, especially if it's really bad during like 5 o'clock traffic, it's just wall to wall. It's not New York or Atlanta traffic, but it gets bad there because it's just got so many retail restaurants and stores on that area. Because I do want to show you how far the main hospital, there are closer urgent cares, etc., but the main hospital, so you're talking about Lexington Medical Center down here, one of the top hospitals in all of Columbia. And when you're looking at that, you can see, if I zoom out, it's over here right off. Here's Lexington over here. You've got 378 that you would go all the way down over here. The hospital is right here running off 26. So it is right there. and you can see how far Lexington is over here. Now, downtown Lexington, as you go in, one of the worst spots to be, and they're looking at expanding it now, is if you're coming from 378, comes down this way, and to downtown Lexington. And it's this little spot right here. It branches here going to downtown Lexington, or branches here going to number 1, all the way further out through Lexington, and then 378 going to the lake back this way. So the traffic areas are really hard here through 378. Very big here. If you have right going to downtown Lexington, a lot of congestion, even on Sundays after church, different things like that. They are, it just really gets bad over there. Where I come from, I live, which is just across the dam, is right over here. So here's the dam. I live over here in Irmo, right here, and I live about 3 miles from the dam, whereas I can do a little run up to the dam, back. There was a 10-mile stretch I used to do. I don't do as much anymore. But of course, and then my parents actually live in Lexington, and they live right down Pilgrim's Church Road here, and they live about right in here somewhere. And there's a ton of houses up in through here, just very popular, but it's also very saturated in the neighborhoods and houses. There's not really any more new housing there. Most of the new housing comes again in that 29073 over here in this area. But that is downtown. That's all of Lexington. It's just a really, really neat place to live. One of the things I do on my Zoom calls when people call in and they see this, I've set my Zoom calls up for 30 to 45 minutes, but especially someone that's not as familiar with Lexington, I sit down and I go through all of this and tell them. And a lot of times I'll be on the phone or on a Zoom call for an hour because you have questions as I go. I can show you some of the cool things. Saluda Shoal Park's right here. They have Christmas lights that are beautiful that are drive through. I used to run through them at night. And they just have there's so many things that I can answer for you by sharing my screen and showing you on a Zoom call and getting to know you better and taking you all through Lexington. I can show you, do property searches. I can show you when you have questions about what there is. But Lexington's got a great history, as you can even check if you ever want to go to the museum. They have a lot of events there too at the Lexington Museum. People are so friendly when they come in. They love grabbing something from such as O'Hare's on Main Street or Bodai, that is a fine dining restaurant on Main Street. They love just walking it, just being a part of that small town feel, and people greet you, people talk to you. It's just that type of atmosphere where you just don't get other places. And parties out in the lake where they have bands come out on big barges. And if you go all the way across over here is Sandy Beach. And we would take turns going from Baum Island out here, which you can't camp on Baum Island. It's a protected sanctuary out there, but you can on Sandy Beach. And people will line boats. I'm talking as many as 20, 30, 40, 50 boats all the way down Sandy Beach and just have your kids play together. It's just a cool time. When the purple martins are coming in to Baum Island, more in like July, September, October, you will have 50 boats just lined all the way around Baum Island. It's got a big, right off the tip here is a big sandbar. Kids play and people anchor down and just watch the birds, watch the purple martins come in. It's such a great time. I need to get another boat. We do not have our boat anymore, so I have to get friends when I want to go out and do it. The last thing I said in there was you saw where I started the intro out in Harbison State Forest. Even though it's not in Lexington, I said I would show you where Harbison State Forest is. This is the dam here. You can go all the way on Lake Murray Boulevard, all the way through this way, and go up to Broad River Road, which you can see the Broad River coming down through here. And so Harbison Forest is right in here. What I'm going to do is, again, you're coming up here, you pass here. This is still Lake Murray Boulevard coming down Broad River Road here. And this is all of this is trails of Harbison Forest. You can't exactly camp out there unless you let them know ahead of time. And the Boy Scouts and different things have taken groups out there. They have a place that you can camp, but it's not like open to the public where you can just go in and camp anytime you want. But let's go in even further. And so it's just down from the South Carolina Criminal Justice. This is the parking lot up front. And you have, so this is Firebreak. It's about 4.5 miles. You go all the way across. You go in here, all the way down, then back up. That's about 4.5 miles. This is the main road that you can on weekends go further down in there. Over here is, I think they have shut this one down. This is across the road here, but that was the trail. It's about a 6-7 mile trail here that is called Lost Creek, because you can see here all these houses that are up in here is all down here. Down this road is called Lost Creek. You go right into the neighborhood. They have a Chestnut Hill. You have a huge clubhouse up here at 7. There's a break, and you can go to, there's called a connector trail, which is about 1 mile exactly, all the way to here. And you got Stewardship way down here, which is about 3.5 miles all the way around here. Then off of the Stewardship trail, you can break. Remember I told you there was a little road this way. You can go this down here, and this is like Spider Woman 2 trail, which it's one of the toughest trails when it comes to mountain biking or running, and it's about 3.2 miles. Then you've got Midlands Mountain, which connects to Firebreak and goes all the way over here. But it's a lot of trails and some really neat areas. There's shelters all throughout. There's portables as far as bathrooms and stuff too, a couple of them here and there at some of the parking campsites, etc. On Spider Woman 2, which is this one right here, the tough one. It's got more uphill, downhill, and things. You can go right here along. You could even put a canoe if you wanted to in here, but it goes right along the Broad River Trail here, and there's some, or the Broad River, and there's some beautiful areas in there that you could just sit by, have some you time, motivational time, have some prayer time, whatever you do. It's just some being out in nature, and really pretty when it comes to that. From that, if I had to say from downtown Lexington, it's probably about a 15-minute drive, 15-20-minute drive. But it's not too bad. Not far from Columbia, not far from a lot of things, but it's one of my favorite spots in Columbia. Tell you a little bit about me, because I always tell one little thing toward the end of my video about me personally. I run a lot of Spartan races. Me and my oldest do. We go to Charleston for the Cooper River Bridge run annually most of the time. I run a lot of these Spartan races. I've been up to Vermont twice, where I ran the Spartan Ultra, which is 32.5 miles, something like that, 60 plus obstacles. I have not completed it yet. I plan to try to complete it again. I have underestimated myself, and I'm starting to get old, so I only got a number of times, more times I can try it. But I love doing things like this. So if you like the outdoors, even I go up to past Greenville to Table Rock to train for those races, to where Table Rock Trail is 3.5 miles up, 3.5 down, but it's probably the shortest in a state park in places, and you go 3.5 miles and you almost go straight up in certain spots. So it's very hilly in training, but it's also gorgeous and a scenic view up there. I can tell you where the best, you're outdoorsy like that. If you like camping, state park, I can even tell you places where it's very primitive camping, where you don't have all the electricity, you don't pay for a site, etc. I can tell you because I do a lot of that. Don't forget, set up a Zoom call with me. That's the most important thing because I want to meet you and I want to be able to answer your questions. And at the same time, you can decide through meeting me whether you want to work with me or not. There's not many people that I have ever had that said they did not want to work with me, but you have that option as well. You guys have a good one, and until the next video.